What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Shadowlands video. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing very well. Oh, coffee's good. Get your coffee. We're going to talk about SKOLEX today. We're going to talk about heroic SKOLEX. I'm going to go over if there's any changes to the fight, which there is a couple, compared to the normal version of the fight, because we've already done a video on that. And I am going to show you the build that I ran on Enhancement Shaman going into SKOLEX. Yeah, SKOLEX is actually a very easy fight. It's probably the easiest fight in the entire raid, I think. I think it's easier than Guardian. But it has a couple of sort of anti-melee things which are a little annoying, but for the most part, it's actually not too bad whatsoever. So grab your coffee and let's jump into it. Let me show you my build first of all. So we ran Witch Doctor Wolfbones, of course, getting the reset on the wolves, and then we were running Ellie Blast, Hot Hand, Hailstorm. And the reason we did that was because Ellie Blast just has the best sort of single target damage. Hot Hand is just, I think, the best talent to take in this row, almost regardless. It's just so incredibly strong now. Our haste values are so high. Your ability to proc Hot Hand, like your chance of getting a Hot Hand proc is much higher than it used to be at like the beginning of the expansion when you had 0 haste. So now we have like 30% haste. Some people have 35 up to there. You can really proc this very easily. And Hailstorm's just, I think, better than Ellie Assault. And certainly you're not going to take Fire Nova. This is a pure single target fight. There's no AoE in this fight whatsoever. We're going to take Sundering and the dogs. But Hailstorm I take as well because I'm taking Chilled to the Core here. When I run this build in single target with Witch Doctor Wolfbones, I'm taking Chilled to the Core because then Frost Shock will generate stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, which helps to smooth out your rotation. So not only does Hailstorm provide a lot of extra damage for your Frost Shock, it makes this Frost Shock go from being about 2,600. I don't even have my buffs on. Let me get my buffs going. Goes from about 2,700 to like 4K, maybe a little more than 4K, which is more damage than a Storm Strike does. Storm Strike does about 3,800, but not to say you're never going to press Storm Strike. Of course you're going to press Storm Strike in a single target situation, but it's nice to have another button that does a lot of damage. When it's got the Hailstorm buff, it'll do about 4K, I believe. And on top of that, it has a chance to now generate Maelstrom weapon stacks, which will reduce the cooldown of your dogs in conjunction with your legendary, right? It'll reduce the cooldown of the dogs, keep that going. It'll also get you back to your spenders. And you really just want to be using your spenders a lot with this build. And it makes the whole thing pretty versatile, right? You can run out and obey a mechanic, which I'll talk about in the VOD. And then you can use a lightning bolt, you can use a frost shock. You have a bit of versatility there so that you're not losing damage when you're away from the boss. Other than that, of course, we're using Magma Fist. Because we are waiting for those hot hand windows, it makes Lava Lash hit very, very hard. And then we're also, of course, always using Focus Lighting. Focus Lighting is sort of the must-take conduit that you're always going to be running. So that's the setup that I'm running with Plague Divisor Marileth to get the 120 extra mastery. And that's it, guys. That's the build. So let's jump into the video. Let me move this over here. Grab a drink. And let me just show you the fight really quick. It's not that hard. Again, this is going to be a quicker video for sure because this fight has got to be the easiest fight in the raid. So, again, it's obviously, if you've never seen this fight, it's a big worm. And some important things to know off the bat. You cannot stand with the tanks. If you're melee and you're standing with the tanks, you will die. SKOLEX kind of cleaves to nearby enemies. And let me just quickly go over the changes that have happened on heroic. So, of course, you can't stand with the tanks, as I said. The tanks now get even additional damage put onto them. They get hit very, very hard on heroic difficulty. So that's one of the biggest changes in this fight on heroic, going from normal to heroic, is that the tanks just get absolutely annihilated and need a lot of help from healers, and they need to use their defensives like really perfectly, or else they're gonna die. The other thing that happens on heroic difficulty is this dust blast thing. So you'll see SKOLEX will do like a spin, and he'll throw dust on everybody. And the furthest enemies away will get an additional sort of debuff put on them, which creates like a little circle earthquake thing around them. And if there's any other players standing nearby, then they will damage those other players. So all ranged players have to like spread out on the heroic version of this fight. They can't stand together. It doesn't affect melee whatsoever, so it doesn't really matter for us, okay? So those are the two major changes. Again, it's just not. It's really not a lot. There's not a lot of change going on there. So let's take a look at the VOD.
Same.
Here goes the fight. So the tanks are setting up on blue, so I need to swing around the other side. Get around to the other side. Or else you're going to get gleed. There's that spin he does, so there's going to be some ranged players that are getting those circles around them right now. You can actually see, this is Doogie, I think, over here. Right above his head, he has a tiny little, like, spark going off above his head. And that's the circle. I can't see it very well on my screen because it's not affecting me. That's how like Blizzard shows visuals, that if it's on another player, it doesn't affect you, then it's not going to show up very clearly because they want to reduce visual clutter. So if you can see the spark above his head, sorry. Oh, there it is right there. You saw that little explosion. See the explosions from the range people? You can see that. So they need to spread out. That's all. It doesn't matter for us though. What does matter for us is these blue circles, of course. Those are always going to be really important. That is the, the devouring blood. So you want to get away from Wretch, of course. But the devouring blood, we always have to keep dodging. That's the entire fight. We're going to have to keep dodging that, which is fine. That's just how this goes. There, he's
my tier piece.
He's spinning again. I don't have my tier piece yet. Again, he's just trucking the tanks. Keep dodging blue circles. After he does 2 wretches in a row, then you want to stack up together as a team and get rid of your dust stacks. See all the dust stacks that are piling up? If you haven't done this on normal, if you look at the raid frames here, Saruchi and Ali have 10. I have only 4. The ranged players get dust stacks like twice as fast as the melee players, but once you get the second wretch here, then you're going to stack together to get rid of the sand debuffs, the dust stacks. You'll see it here.
Stack on orange after this is over. Remember, stack right away, right away. Get to orange.
I'll be the last one.
Again, it takes him a minute to get her. You can keep damaging the boss when he's burrowing, so make sure you use things like Frost Shock and Prime Wave and Lightning Bolt. And I summon my wolves here to get ready. You can also Pharaoh Lunge back into the boss when he knocks you away. Those are some good tools for Enhancement Shaman, right? And
Lestis, you should go check on the tanks, see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Make sure you use Ellie Blast. It's a really, really good in this fight. Keep dodging blue circles. That's the whole fight, guys. Again, nothing has really changed mechanically for us on this fight. You just dodge blue circles. You stack up together when the ranged players have too many stacks. And that's about it. You don't ever stand with the tanks. Don't ever stand with the tanks or you're going to die. So it doesn't really change at all for melee, which is nice. That's a kind of refreshing fight. Once again, this is a very, very easy fight. So we'll skip ahead to near the end here. Our damage was okay. I don't have my 2-piece yet or anything. So this was a while ago, actually. This was like early in the week that we killed him. So if you haven't done Heroic SKOLEX yet, do not be scared by it. It's very easy. You guys get in there and get this boss down. Get some gear on him. Get some heroic gear, because this has got to be the easiest fight in the raid. I think that, especially for melee, it's not even really an issue. Because you don't get those extra mechanics. The range get the extra mechanics on heroic, and the tanks get the extra mechanics as well. So it's not that difficult whatsoever. It's a super easy fight, and it's really great for us melee. Only a couple things to dodge. So let me just flip back to gameplay here for a second. So once again, devouring blood, that's those blue swirlies that go. You need to dodge those 100% of the time. Don't ever stand with the tanks, because you'll get hit by their mechanics and you will die. And then that's it for melee. The range people need to spread out, but that doesn't really affect us. Make sure you stack up together with your group. And then, this build that we're running is pretty versatile. It helps us with damage from range, which is important because sometimes you have to go stack up every once in a while with your team, and you're going to try to do damage, but you won't be near the boss. So you'll need to be able to generate stacks of Maelstrom Weapon with Chill to the Core Frost Shocks. That's exactly what that's for. So you can stand back, hit Frost Shock, still generate stacks of Maelstrom Weapon, maybe get enough for a spender, use your spender. By the time you've done a couple of GCDs, then SKOLEX will be traveling towards you to knock you up to get rid of your dust stacks. You can use things like Fleshcraft to actually immune that knockup and also immune the damage, but you don't have to do that. If you get knocked up by SKOLEX when he does his burrow thing, you can always Pharaoh Lunge back in. So it's very simple fight for melee. It's very, very good for Enhancement Shaman, and it's good for the Witch Doctor Wolfbones single target build. It is a pure single target build. So definitely probably want to run Witch Doctor Wolfbones to get that damage in there, and that's going to be, I think, the best version of the builds that you could run in there. Now, that's it. I'm really hoping to continue getting some tier pieces maybe this week on my shaman, because then I could really test and see, like, you know, how much more damage do you do when you have the tier set on your shaman. So hopefully I'll get that soon, but until then it's just a waiting game for me. But that's it, guys. That's the whole video on SKOLEX. It's short and sweet. It's the easiest boss in the raid. Go kill it right now. Go get it done this week with a guild group of your own. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please drop a like down below. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, get down there and subscribe. What are you doing with your life? Huh? Come on, hit that button. Hit it right. It's right here. Where is it? It's somewhere there. I can't point directly to it. It's it's right there. I don't know. It's over there somewhere. Let's go get it. Anyway, it's fine. Click that button, okay? It would really help. Thanks for watching, guys. Until the next one, of course. We'll see you later.